She always left before the ending. It didn't matter if it was a packed cinema or just her own cozy living room. Ilara would vanish right as the story reached its peak. Her friends thought it was just a strange quirk. They'd laugh and say, "Spoiler alert, Ilara the hero saves the day." But she'd just offer a small, sad smile and change the topic. I met Ilara at a small independent film festival. We hit it off immediately, talking for hours about black and white films and obscure directors. That night, we watched a heartbreaking French drama. Just as the lovers were about to meet their tragic fate, she stood up. "I have to go," she whispered, her eyes still glued to the screen. And just like that, she was gone, leaving me with her half-eaten popcorn and a mind full of questions. We started dating, and our time together became a marathon of movies. We watched everything: sprawling epics, silly comedies, tense thrillers, and every single time, like clockwork, she would leave before the credits rolled. The mystery was fascinating. I came up with all sorts of theories. Was she a film critic who couldn't let the ending influence her review? Did she have a weird phobia of closing credits? Or was she a character from a movie herself, stuck repeating the first two acts forever? One evening, we were watching an old classic, a story about a soldier returning from war. It was her favorite. She knew every single line. As the soldier on screen began his long journey home, I saw a tear roll down her cheek. I kept quiet, but when the scene changed to his wife, waiting anxiously by a window, Ilara paused the movie. The room went completely silent, filled only with the faint hum of the old TV. She turned to me, her eyes shimmering in the dim light. "My father loved movies," she began, her voice barely a whisper. "He was a soldier, just like him." She pointed to the frozen image on the television. "He took me to the cinema every single weekend. It was our special thing. He'd always buy the biggest bucket of popcorn for us to share, our fingers bumping in the dark. He would lean over and whisper, 'This is the best part, kiddo, the part where anything is still possible.'" She took a slow, deep breath. The day before he was deployed for the last time, we were watching an action movie. The hero was trapped. The odds were impossible. Right at the height of the tension, he stood up and said he had to finish packing. He kissed my forehead and said, "Don't worry, I'll be back to see how it ends." The silence in the room suddenly felt heavy, charged with a meaning I was just beginning to grasp. I finally understood. "He never came back," she said, her words hanging in the air between us. "He never got to see the ending." For the longest time, I couldn't watch any movie at all. It just hurt too much. Then one day, I realized something. If I never finish the movie, if I always leave before the end, then in my world, he's still on his way. He's still coming home to watch it with me. It wasn't a quirk. It was about hope. For Ilara, the unfinished story wasn't an ending denied. It was a possibility preserved. In that gap between the climax and the credits, her father wasn't just a memory. He was a promise. The hero was still fighting, the lovers were still reaching for each other, and her dad was still on his way home. The endings could wait. From that day on, I never asked her to stay until the end. Instead, when the moment came, I'd stand up with her. We'd walk out of the cinema together, leaving the final scenes to play out for everyone else. We'd step out into the cool night air, under the glow of the streetlights, and we would talk about what might have happened. We'd invent our own endings. Sometimes the hero won, sometimes they didn't. But in every single version we created together, her father always made it home. Because some stories are just too precious to end. Some goodbyes are too final to say. And sometimes, the most beautiful part of a movie isn't the ending, but the infinite, hopeful possibility of what comes next. By leaving before the credits rolled, Ilara wasn't running away from the story. She was keeping the most important one alive. The one where her dad, with a smile and a bucket of popcorn, was just about to walk through the door. Thank you for watching.